and Rob, stay with us.
We'll be here.
We head to the White House now. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney meeting up with President Trump yesterday in what's being called one of the more contentious bilateral meetings in recent North American history. Leading up to the meeting, Canada was the only G7 nation without a finalized trade deal with the Trump administration.
Mark Carney had to weave a fine needle here. The two leaders sat down in the Oval Office for about an hour. It quickly became clear how deep the divide has grown, not just on the tariffs, but on the future of the bilateral relationship itself. So President Trump again floated the idea of Canada as the 51st state, even joking about a merger during his opening remarks. Here's that.
And I'm running out of time, but this is in many respects the most important.
The merger of Canada and the United States.
That wasn't where I was going.
All right, let's bring in Michael Charbon. He's the host of the Charbon Report and NEWSMAX Canadian correspondent. Great to have you here, Michael. I mean, he keeps going back, President Trump, about this 51st state joke, but it doesn't resonate very well, clearly, with the Prime Minister and the people of Canada. How did Canadians perceive this meeting between President Trump and Prime Minister Carney?
Well, they perceived Carney as coming to the White House like Monty Hall. Let's make a deal. That was on his breath, but unfortunately, just like the Blue Jays against the Yankees last night, he struck out. I mean, there was lots of wonderfulness. Carney called Trump a transformative president. Trump called Carney a tough negotiator. But there were no blowouts. It was all cordial. There was laughing, but there still is no deal. And Canadians are devastated by the steel and aluminum tariffs that have come up to about 50%. It's crippling jobs on both sides of our borders. But both the teams are all kind of poker-faced, and one source actually to me said that President Trump wants to make a deal, and so does Carney. You know, we don't know what's happening. Carney had a nice dinner with J.D. Vance last night, and the Canadian negotiating team is still remaining in D.C. We'll see what's going to come about, John.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing set in stone, right? As we understand, there is pressure, even at home, to get a deal done. The U.S.-Canadian Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc said that the talks were positive. So that seems to be good, hinting that it's the first sign Trump has been willing to move on steel and aluminum tariffs on Canada since he doubled them to 50% in June. LeBlanc staying in Washington for more talks with his counterparts. So is this sort of the cautious optimism that we can expect? And, you know, what kind of timeline are we realistically facing here? And how is the country of Canada being impacted?
Well, Emmy, you're correct. I mean, Canadian politics is one that flows like the wind. I mean, the Liberals are going down, the Conservatives are going up. Carney had promised that he was going to have a deal twice, once after the G7 in 30 days and then at the end of August. Both of those he had to back off of. He had to back off of tariffs that he was going to put upon the United States. So many Canadians are looking at Carney in a certain sense as failing. The one thing was brought up, it was the Golden Dome, if you recall, which is an anti-missile system which is modeled after the Israeli Iron Dome. That's a $200 million piece. Canada needs to buy new nuclear submarines, and Canada has to buy jets. So there are portions of safety that Canada has on the table that we're hoping that are going to rectify this, because we got to solve this. I mean, this has got to stop. It's hurting both sides, Emma, of our border, and we've got to resolve this. I mean, we have 85% of our trade goes to the United States, and we've got to get this done. The deal has to get done, Emma.
Yeah, and there was one thing that the news reporter said: is there a conflict between the two sides? I thought it was interesting how they chose their words carefully. And Prime Minister Carney says, "I'm not conflicting, I'm actually competitive," and President Trump said the same thing. Kind of gave him a little bit of a compliment there, that he's competitive for his own country. Michael Charbon, we have to leave it there. Great to hear from you. Good to see you.
Thank you. The NFL's decision